When Victor Wembanyama stepped on the NBA scene for the first time against the Dallas Mavericks, we were able to see exactly what all the hype was about, but it's not just one game that solidifies you, as there's certain games and moments in your career where everyone can say you're solidified in this league. For Victor Wembanyama, we saw countless of these throughout his rookie year. Whether it be him getting ridiculous blocks, catching lobs that look nasty, or knocking down step-back threes, Wemby displayed all aspects of his skill, and during some key games, we got to see him unleash the whole entire arsenal. Those games being his 5x5 night versus the Lakers, the game where it was stamped that he was Rookie of the Year, 38 points hung on the Suns, and the shot-blocking triple-double. Honestly, it wasn't a layer of his game untouched throughout these games, and when you analyze things deeper, you can see just how absurd Wemby is only 1 year into his career. Most people will rave about his obvious highlight plays, but if you look at the way this 7'4" Frenchman can pass the rock, it's actually pretty spectacular. Watch closely here. With everyone matched up in LeBron on Sohan, pay attention to what happens next. Since Wemby attracts so much attention on the floor, when he gets into the paint, he pulls LeBron in with AD recovering. So now with Sohan sneaking behind the defense to the front of the rim, Wemby can blend this short jumper into a toss right over the top. Just being a rookie, Wemby already has so much gravity on the floor, so when he pushes towards the rack, not only does he pull in Anthony Davis, but he pulls in Rui as well. With two shooters now open, Wemby chooses the simple no-look dump off back to Sohan, who can then attack the rim with a clear path. To analyze the facilitating through a different lens, let's look at the pick and roll play. When catching here, we once again see Wemby get doubled at the free throw line, but since Booker has to cover the cut to the rim, he's now too far to get out to Jones on the wing, and the no-look pass is underway for the wide open tray ball. You truly wouldn't expect a rookie to come out the gate showing off passes like this, but Wemby is just different. With a quickness, he notices Jones slipping the screen towards the basket, and instead of turning his head to telegraph this pass, Victor dumps it off right down the middle without looking, and now Jones can fly in for the tough layup. To see this again but in a better fashion, Wemby once more uses the screen with Tyus, who gets behind the defense on the slip, and with the left hand this time, Wemby wraps this around Podol and right past RJ Barrett for Jones to get another bucket off this two-man action. It's highly important that you don't allow guys to roam free when you cater more attention to Wemby, because he's not your average rookie and can spot openings within the defense in a split second. I know teams might feel like doubling is the best bet to get the ball out of his hands or force a turnover, but there's just certain things you can't beat, and that's his height. So although he does have defenders all up in his space, you can't take away his 7'4" stature, and this pass over the top of the defense is just seamless. That length of his gives him a major advantage on both sides of the ball, because when this pass sends him down low, most of the time the ball would go sailing out of bounds right here, but hey, we're talking about Victor Wembanyama. So instead of it being a spoiled play, he reaches up high to get a hand on it and immediately tip it back to Sohan, who can then power inside for 2 points. It can all out be a nightmare for opposing teams, as Wemby can break up the passes with his long arms, and then when he catches the ball on the break, he can scan the floor quickly to see what's happening and sling this over to Jones in the corner for the money ball. That ability to get his hands on the ball at any time can shut down even the quickest defenders, as here you can see quickly tries to explode past Wemby after using the hezzy, but it's a simple reach across his body to tap the ball out for the steal. Opposing offenses will run their standard actions and throw routine passes that are always open, but when you're dealing with Wembanyama, you must be on point, as just when you think he can't get to it, well, the joke's on you and we're going the other way. This same thing happens with his rim protection, as Shea feels like this attempt inside is a one-on-one battle with Sohan, but sorry to tell you, Wemby is right behind you gearing up to send this ball right back. I don't think the offensive players necessarily forget about him, but I do think they assume they beat him to the basket like Scotty Barnes does here, only to be rewarded with a chase down block. Since he is such a threat, you'll see players get accustomed to this, so they won't even think about going up at times, and with Wemby's agility, he can switch onto LeBron and then block this turnaround fade as the shot clock expires. You'd honestly think that someone his size wouldn't be able to move this fluidly on the court, but with his quick play recognition and dexterity, Wemby can rotate over on this Eubank slip to the rim, and right before this two-hander is completed, Victor gets a hand on it to save the bucket. Now let's say he has to first guard the guy who's trying to create offense, well Wemby can shut that down completely, forcing them to give it up, and for most guards they don't have a 7'4" big waiting on them, so they would typically have a chance to score here or draw a foul, but that reach of Wembanyama is too much and he just pins this right off the glass. That ability to stop initial drives and rotate back is key, because when Quickly gets going downhill, he likes to use the floater to outbeat larger defenders, but since Wemby gets out in front and has that length that guys have to worry about, Quickly instead dumps it off to Podol, but this is Victor Wembanyama we're talking about, and he smacks this off the glass on the recover. It truly doesn't matter how open the floor looks off first glance, you must proceed with caution at all times, or else your shot is just going to be deleted. Some players will try to outbeat this by feeding Wemby multiple moves to shake him, but when you're dealing with someone who has discipline and a 10-foot reach, there's practically no shaking your way out of this situation. The only thing that comes out of this is exhausted energy from the attacker, because you can see that Wemby stays down on this drop from Scotty not biting on a single move, and this block looks like an NBA player swatting a kid at one of his summer camps not only once, but twice. Coming into the league, there were notions that Wemby wouldn't be able to hold up defensively because of his rather skinny frame, but contact isn't something that he'll shy away from. He'll take it head on, and then when you do try to go up, well, good luck. It's not even that he's this extra strong guy or anything, but due to that length, Wemby doesn't need to get so physical. He just needs to go straight up and track the ball when it's at its apex. You'll see on this play that AD starts muscling Wemby down on the post with relative ease, but with that discipline we just talked about, he doesn't get in the air prematurely and instead stays on his feet, so when AD tries to reverse this in on the other side, Wemby's able to get his hands on the ball when Davis goes up. Now I already know some people are gonna say, well duh, it's his height that allows him to do things so easily. And okay, yeah, his height and length do give him an advantage when it comes to his defense, but he must be knowledgeable of where guys are, put himself in the right places on the court, and altogether have great hand-eye coordination to track the ball down. You can't just say his height is the only reason he is so skilled, because how many times do you see a 7'4" big move like water to get open and immediately rise up from 15 feet? You probably don't see this too often, because most bigs aren't navigating around the court to get into pull-ups, but with Wemby, not only will he shake AD to receive the ball, but he'll then wait for him to come out, get into a crossover to feed that step back, and this right here is straight. Wait, hold on. Everybody say it with me. And this right here is straight cash. It's nice to have a dependable option who will always move off ball to make themselves available, and the thing with Wemby is that he has multiple ways to operate off ball. Let's say you use him as a screener, well since he isn't afraid to let it fly, he'll pop out while both defenders are hooked on the ball handler, and with nothing but space and opportunity, he nails it from the top of the key. I understand that the defense wants to protect the basket when guys start attacking, but when you have someone who is 7'4" and confident in letting it fly, this amount of space Olynyk gives up is just too much, so this contest right here practically serves no purpose. In contrast to the pick and pop, Wemby will use the movement to roll into space, and if you leave open even the slightest gap, well the lob over the top is easy, and now Rui is forced to give him some contact, resulting in a foul. If you think back to earlier when we discussed his agility, well it's on full display here, as he doesn't just roam around slowly after the screen, but instead he cuts past Brown like a wide receiver in American football, and hey, I'm pretty sure we all know what happens next. These abrupt cuts catch the defense off guard completely because they're not expecting him to just bolt to the rim after giving the ball up, and once he has that initial step on you, there's honestly not much you can do. So as a defender, you better be aware of what's going on at all times and not get back screened, as you leave the much shorter Gordon as the only rim protector and he simply stands no chance. Now look, don't think for 1 second he can only move off ball, because Wemby can get crafty when he has the rock in his hands, and if me and you are being honest, it's quite ridiculous how comfortable he already looks in his rookie year. It may look simple, but when he catches the ball in the mid-post area, this jab step stuns Olynyk, keeping his momentum going towards the left. So now when Wemby starts attacking, he can have a slight advantage and use that length to outbeat both defenders trying to block the shot. Just so you know this isn't a one-off thing, we get to see Wemby do this again but to prodL this time, and instead of using that sky hook, he throws down his one-hander with no regard for the defense. So yeah, there's not really much you can do to stop the drive, as his reach when he's around the basket is way too much to deal with. But it doesn't just stop at his attacking, as when he starts searching for a shot from the outside, he can get creative as well, and if the defense isn't literally smothering him, then any look from deep is pretty much wide open. All it takes is this little amount of space after using this shimmy to shake Eubanks, and now with a little bit of daylight, he can rise up over the top to drill it home. If he doesn't get that initial pass down low when he has LeBron on him, well he'll use that off-ball movement to get behind the line, and since Champagnie runs through to the corner, AD and LeBron are both clueless as to who they are guarding, so once he's ready to fire it up and AD doesn't step out, it's easy money. Oh and wait, one more thing. If you keep backpedaling while he's coming up the court, well just go ahead and watch it fall through the net. In every single way, Victor Wembanyama showcased all his skills throughout these 4 games, and if you want to see a more in-depth analysis, click on this video right here.